Hello, I am Brandon Valentine,
I'm Michael Federline.
and we are talking about why Congress should have term limits.
Um, well, for one, I feel as though congressmen, congresswomen are they're kind of taking their jobs for granted. Some of them who have, they don't have term limits. They're just, they're in there, just going through the motions. They're not truly doing their job to help out their community. I feel like with term limits, that would probably put someone in office who is actually going to do their job and try to help out the community. That's me.
And then also like our founding fathers like told us that, like John Adams, he said that we should have term limits because, you know, like if we don't have term limits, it just gets corrupt and people like it just gets older and older and everything just seems to be the same thing over and over again, and they just need change in there.
And money's a big factor in there too. It's all about the money nowadays. If you have enough money for to win an election, or I mean, if you get enough money in donations, you're going to win the election, no matter what happens, because that's just how our society is nowadays.
Yeah, and then another key point is that like Congress, like they only have a 13% approval rate. So obviously, if they can't agree on something, then we need to like get new people in there with new ideas and like fresh minds, and maybe younger people might help a little bit, even though the general public usually likes it to be older
Yes,
members.
because that's only 13%. We're voting people in who we don't like, even though we say that we like. It's like the person for our district. We as people need to do better as well to get people who are actually going to do their job in there.
It's almost as if like like we're voting in who we just vote in the same person every time because that's just what we do,
Yeah.
and we don't really think about it too much. We just go to the polls and vote the same person in every time because we think they're the ones doing a good job and it's somebody else
Yeah.
that's messing up.
Exactly.
Let's see. Yeah, also Congress, like the older guys in there, like that have been there for a while and have a lot of seniority, they believe that like they're above everybody else and that what they say should be like the most important. Or also like they like question or like argue with what the president has to say,
Mhm.
and that I don't know, almost like they feel like they're the president themselves.
Um, I feel like with Congress, most legislation is written by a committee that, you know, they handle they handle it the way they want to handle it, and it's not like they're taking everyone's like point of view in. They're just doing it. They, they have a set plan that they want to do, and that's how they're going to do it. They don't even think about other people's like decisions or stuff like that. But
And also, becoming a congressman is like becoming less and less important because like people are just uninterested in like changing what has to be done in like Congress, and it just seems like everything's self-marginalized, and you're either on one side of the spectrum or other. You're either like extremely like radical, like
yeah,
you're like a radical
yeah,
Republican, or you're like an extreme like liberal,
far left
and
like
like
Bernie.
you can't like agree with anybody. Like you have like people running for president, like you have Bernie Sanders, and you have like I don't know,
Trump,
like
Trump.
yeah, like they don't agree at all with what you're saying. Like, and I feel like if Congress is doing the exact same thing, then nothing's gonna be able to get done.
Yeah, I might think about getting a Trump haircut. You in on that a little
Yeah, I'm a
bit?
little bit in on that.
I mean, he's got some nice hair. I'm not gonna lie about that. But
Yeah,
also, I feel like Congress is like whenever they're debating about something, they're just completely like going at each other, not trying to like solve anything. They're just giving each other. They're not trying to like come together on certain topics, and that's where I think there should be term limits to get people in there who are gonna, be moderates and try to get stuff done.
and then like on a final note, when you look at probability of like theoretical like things that could happen, like if Congress keeps staying the same with like no terms, then nothing's going to get done in this country. It's basically just going to stay the same, where we need to be constantly changing and having new ideas and better like laws or like changing of the laws. And I just feel like with the change of like Congress and like having maximum number of terms, like I don't know, maybe like serve like 4 or 5 terms at the most. That like you can get new guys in there every like 6 to 8 years, and you don't have to worrying about whether or not America's going to stay the same forever. Anyways, I'm Brandon Valentine.
I'm Michael Fairline.
We're signing off.